Over the years in FPL, we loved attacking fullbacks, the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Leighton Baines, John Lundstrom. But this year, the game completely changed with the introduction of DEFCON. But these attacking fullbacks have recently shown that they're still viable options. We saw Mighty Cash recently get a 10-pointer. Nico Williams recently get another 10-pointer. And only in Game Week 7, our favourite attacking wingback from last year, Munoz, managed to get himself a goal for Crystal Palace. Not only that, Marc Cucurella got another assist for Chelsea. Also, it's important to remember, last season, if we include DEFCON points, the top 10 defenders, 7 of them were centre-backs, but 3 of them were still fullbacks. So fullbacks have shown that they can still compete with DEFCON defenders. So let's have a look at the best fullbacks to buy in FPL right now. The word DEFCON is banned in this video, and we are talking about attacking fullbacks and attacking fullbacks only. So what a way to start. Trufe versus Juve, 2 defenders in the 4.5, 4.4 million price bracket. And let's start by talking about the Bournemouth man, because I've been very impressed with how he settled into the Premier League. Down the left-hand side, he's averaging 4.74 crosses per 90. That is extremely high. And I feel like when Bournemouth lost Kirkis, everyone knew Bournemouth would find someone who shows very similar behaviours to Kirkis down the left-hand side. And Trufe does that extremely well. We see how he bombs down to the byline, how he gets those crosses in. And not only that, when Semenyo does play down the left-hand side, we can see the combination play between Trufe and Semenyo is starting to build. The chemistry is starting to build. And I feel like at one point this year, a very common goal combination is going to be Trufe assist, Semenyo goal. Especially considering the fact how Semenyo likes to get those shots off. I've been very impressed. He's averaging 4.6 points per match right now. That is extremely good. And not only that, he plays for a relatively good defence in Bournemouth so far. And the other defender I really wanted to talk about was Juve from West Ham. I saw a report today that West Ham had a behind closed door friendly where they actually set up in a back 3. And that could be something that Nuno might replicate in the future, considering the fact that West Ham have been quite frail at the back. But more importantly, I feel like a wing back role really suits Juve's game. When we've watched Juve so far, he has shown incredible ability going forward. His delivery is incredible, and more importantly from an FPL point of view, he's already managed to get a couple of assists. And you can say that's been under a poor West Ham side under Graham Potter. West Ham's fixtures over the next 4 are very nice. They have 3 home fixtures in the next 4. But more importantly, we expect West Ham to improve. We expect Nuno to defensively solidify West Ham a lot more, which should mean Juve has the license to attack a bit more. And more importantly, we saw Nico Williams last year for Nuno. Ola Aina last year for Forest. Really bombing on, getting those FPL returns from an attacking point of view as well. Juve has done that under Graham Potter. Imagine what he could do with Nuno getting more time in the training ground to solidify the West Ham defence, to hopefully mean that Juve has more license to go forward. He could be a phenomenal option. Now, there's another attacking fullback that I really wanted to talk about in this video, and that is Kieran Trippier. Kieran Trippier has been a phenomenal FPL asset in the past. And right now, some people are talking about potentially bringing him in with the injuries to Lewis Hall and Livramento. We also know Newcastle don't really have that many other options at right back. In a back 3, at wing back, they could potentially play Jacob Murphy there. But in a flat back 4, Kieran Trippier is clearly Newcastle's only option right now. And one thing we know, Trippier has been a brilliant FPL option in the past. That 23-24 season, his expected assist numbers was 0.34. That is extremely high. He was putting in close to 4 crosses per 90. However, I hate to break it to you guys, I don't feel like Kieran Trippier is the same player that he was 2 years ago, and it's only natural. He's getting older, he's physically declining, he doesn't really get up and down like he used to before. And another thing with Newcastle and Trippier as well, he don't really take set pieces how he used to a couple of years ago. So I don't think Trippier is the same viable option as he was a couple of years ago. However, the only thing I would say is we know the levels Trippier could reach. If people want to take the risk, hoping that Trippier can reach, let's say that's half the same heights that he did a couple of years ago, I don't blame you. But for now, Kieran Trippier is an attacking fullback that I would avoid. Now, these 2 fullbacks, or defenders should I say, will never be avoided. And that is Munoz and Cucurella. Let's start by talking about Munoz, because I feel like last week in Game Week 7, he got himself a goal. And he really needed that, because the FPL community almost forgot how good he is. So far this year, Munoz is averaging an XG of 0.13. Expected assist numbers of 0.19. He's still averaging over 2 crosses per night. And I feel like when we watch Munoz, the thing that stands out the most is because he plays wing back, he has so much license to get forward. He's almost in the front 3, front 4 at times. He's extremely good. The only thing I potentially would say as a negative is that we don't know how necessarily Crystal Palace is going to deal with that Thursday, Sunday turnover in terms of fatigue. That is something that a lot of teams have struggled with in the past. But I feel like Munoz's fitness levels are very, very good. Even when he goes off on international duty with Colombia, he still normally plays the Premier League game after that. That is a positive. The other defender I wanted to talk about is Cucurella. I don't think Cucurella's underlying numbers have been as strong as maybe what the eye test suggests. And I feel like a lot of these numbers are, let's say, potentially skewed because obviously Chelsea have been down to 10 men the last couple games in the Premier League, which hasn't helped. But we know with Cucurella, especially when Reece James is in the side playing right back, where Reece James almost becomes the third centre back, Cucurella gets so much license to get forward and almost attack the box. We've seen it in a couple games, especially at the start of the season, where Cucurella was pretty much Chelsea's at times furthest player forward. And that is something that is extremely, extremely good. Another, let's say, potential flaw in Cucurella could be that we saw after the international break last time against Brentford, Cucurella was on the bench. But Chelsea in that first 45 weren't good enough. Cucurella came straight back in the side in the second half and he almost got himself a goal. If you guys remember, a Chelsea player put the ball across and Coyote got a very, very important touch. Otherwise, Cucurella would have pretty much had an open goal. And considering the fact that Chelsea's fixtures are extremely, extremely good going forward, Cucurella is still a very, very good FPL asset. And I feel like a lot of people are not going to have roots to, let's say, a Chelsea defender. A lot of people don't have Chelsea defenders after they wildcarded. They don't have Sanchez now. Cucurella could be a phenomenal differential if we're looking at engaged players in FPL. Now, this is one reason why I think attacking fullbacks is still a viable option. The highest scoring defender right now in FPL, it's not a centre-back, it's Jurriën Timber. He's shown so far what you can do with a 24 point, and I've spoken a lot about Timber already, especially a more detailed analysis in this video over here if you guys want to have a watch. But let's talk about Califury, because I feel like a lot of people have kind of slightly overlooked how important he has been to the Arsenal side right now. Arteta's main back four is Califury at left back, Timber at right back, and the two centre backs obviously being Gabriel and Saliba. Califury is clearly first choice over Miles Lewis-Skelly. He started every single game so far in the Premier League, and his numbers, from an underlying numbers point of view, have been extremely, extremely impressive. His expected assist numbers are nearly double what Timber's are. He's actually still extremely high at 0.2. And if you've watched Arsenal and their corners so far, Califury seems to be the main target rather than a Gabriel so far this year. So that could be something very, very important to look at when you're looking to pick potential differentials, especially those attacking fullbacks, because Califury has that route from crosses, from set pieces that other defenders maybe don't have, especially from an attacking fullback point of view. Touches in the penalty area, still extremely good, 2.5, and he's averaging 6 points per match. The only negative that I can say about Califury from an FPL point of view is his minutes are never, let's say, more than 75 to 80. We know Miles Lewis-Skelly will always come on for Califury. And I feel like when you watch Timber and compare it to Califury, the difference between Timber and, let's say, Ben White is considerable. Timber is probably 2 or 3 levels above Ben White. Whereas with Califury down the left-hand side, I feel like the difference between him and Miles Lewis-Skelly is not a lot. You can probably argue Califury is the better left-back, but it will probably only be by 1 level. Some people might argue Lewis-Skelly's better. But for now, let's say Califury is better, but it's not by a lot. And the minutes so far are reflecting that. But at the same time, Califury is still a very, very fun pick. And if people went there, I'm not going to question that. Would I recommend going with Califury? No. I would still prefer going with Jurriën Timber if I was to pick an Arsenal fullback. But listen, there's still that chance that by the end of this season, Califury could potentially be the highest scoring Arsenal defender. I wouldn't rule that out. And if people are going to go there, good luck to you. But listen, attacking fullbacks are still viable options in FPL and options that should not be overlooked. If you lot are going to bring in any fullbacks in FPL right now, let me know down below in the comments. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will be back soon.